think the top skills that have really helped me is being clear in articulating your goals and your vision to others. So being a clear communicator, as well as having the self-ambition and the motivation and self-perseverance to move forward in challenging times, as well as willing to step outside your comfort zone, because often you'll be wearing many hats, and it can be very important to learn how to best make use of the situation, especially if you've never been in that scenario before.
Top 3 skills for an entrepreneur: resilience, vision, and a good communicator, a collaborator with the team.
The first idea, or the first thing for me, is curiosity. Without curiosity, you don't know what questions to ask, and you don't have the desire to actually find what people need. So entrepreneurship to me is about filling needs and niches of needs that people haven't filled before. To really know what is it that's not working for people, where you could come in and create a great business, you need to be really curious. So curiosity is the first thing. The second thing is the ability to fail and the ability to learn from that failure. So a lot of people talk about fail fast, fail early. I think that's a little bit of a misnomer, because there's no point in failing if you don't learn from the failure. So learning from failure is the second thing. And then the third thing is tenacity. You need to be absolutely 100% committed to really making things happen. And in my life, more people have said no to me than have said yes. Now, if I'd turned around and after the first person said no, said, oh, well, that was a bad experience, I won't try that again, I wouldn't have got anywhere. So it's the ability to accept the no, learn from the no, move on, and keep tenaciously following your passion and your dreams.
That's a very tricky question to answer, because there's so many skills you can bring to the table, and the more skills you have in your team, I think the better in some ways, because different skills give different perspectives. But if I had to pick 3, I'd say being current with your tech, knowing your finance and being pretty financially literate, and also being confident and being able to speak and sell an idea, and being able to deal with anything that might come along, deal with failure, deal with someone who might not be trying to help you out so much. Talking to clients, I think something I heard from someone else in tech early on that was a lesson we also learned, is it's important to know when a partnership might be over, when to fire a client, so to speak. Not everything's going to work out, and even if you don't have the time, it's unfair to lead someone along and act like you do. You've got to be fair to yourself and fair to your clients, and be open and communicative about it. And so that's probably, let's say communication would be the third skill then.
Creativity, uniqueness and nerve, and a little bit of talent in there as well. But it's mainly those 3: creativity, uniqueness and nerve, because only the paranoid survive.
Wow, that's tricky to do, right? Entrepreneurship, running business, is the most brilliant thing you're ever going to do. It's also the hardest thing you're ever going to do. So the skills that I've found over the years, and I guess this comes back to, I've worked a lot with startups, doing startup mentoring now for about, 10 years. And I guess looking back and looking at the really successful people in this game, they've got a few things. The first thing is that they've overcome a fear of failure. As I said to you before, there's no lack of ideas, and we're too afraid to step out of that comfort zone and try those ideas. So fear of failure, overcome that. Secondly, overcome fear of rejection. So if you're going to run a business, sales is a key part of what you need to do. Now, any good salesperson, they have no fear for rejection at all. They get rejected about 100 times a day, and they get one sale, and it's the best day of their life. So overcome rejection. And the last thing is willingness to learn. As a business owner, the buck stops with you. There's no shortcuts here. You have to figure it out. And if you're not willing to learn, talk to people, understand how things work, it's not going to be very successful at all. So 3 things. Fear of failure, overcome that. Fear of rejection, overcome that as well, please. And the third one is that always be willing to learn.
Persistence, work ethic, and integrity.
So yeah, I think hard work, tenacity and communication, probably my 3 points. So you're always working, you're always on, nights and weekends to get the business off the ground. Tenacity, being comfortable with no, and then being able to talk to people and communicate and ultimately try and influence them in, helping them see that you can solve their problem and influence them to give you work.